Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Ninjago set number 71819, the Dragonstone Shrine. This is a brand new Ninjago set for the spring of 2024, and you gotta forgive me here, this review is a little bit late. I was not planning on picking this set up, but I did, just by chance, so I figured why not review the thing. This set contains 1,212 pieces and retails for $120 in the United States. As per usual, I will spend today's video talking about my general opinions regarding this set, and keep in mind I am not a professional LEGO review channel, nor am I trying to be. I just like to review the sets that I buy. Like I said, I bought this one by chance. Just to drop some first impressions though, I really like this set. I love how elegant and gorgeous it is. However, there are some minor problems that I feel like should be addressed, but overall this set is really good in my opinion. For the box, here we have the front of the box. It is the front of the box, and the back of the box is the back of the box. Surprise, it is the back of the box. Alright, so starting off with minifigures, here we have Master Lloyd as he appears in this set. Now this figure we have seen before in previous sets. The only difference between then and now, I believe, is the golden shoulder pads, which were not found on previous interpretations of this figure. Otherwise, the rest of the design is the exact same as we've seen before. Same hairpiece with the updated green headband that is a different shade of green, as opposed to something like the island. The face is the exact same face that we've been seeing since the Ninjago movie, unfortunately, so not even the Ninjago Dragons Rising face. Instead, we have just the Ninjago movie face, making a comeback from all those many years ago. For the torso and the leg print, it's the exact same thing that we've seen before. Still great though. I still really like this design. For weapons, he has this massive spear sword thing. It's kind of like a little bit excessive in my opinion. This kind of reminds me of those old Chima weapons where they were literally just stacking weapons on top of weapons. That's what this reminds me of. Kind of a little bit too big in my opinion. Maybe they should have just stuck with this, right? Just give him a golden sword. Like, that looks good enough, right? Oop, there we go. That looks good enough. Otherwise, no, his weapon is a little bit too big. This weird pamphlet that he has here says invite in the Ninjago language, I believe, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe it's an invitation to the Tournament of the Sources or whatever. Only time will tell, but that is Master Lloyd. Next up, we have Nia. Now, this figure is very interesting. This set makes a lot of interesting decisions when it comes to minifigures. This is more or less the Dragons Rising Season 1 Nia, except she does not have the top of her mask. Instead, she wears her headband hairpiece combo that we've been seeing since Ninjago Seabound, I believe, or Ninjago Legacy 2021 just in general. She has two weapons, these two sais, which are decked out with little water power, so I guess that's kind of cool. And she also does have two katanas on her back. Now this Nia figure, it's the exact same figure as Season 1 Nia, except with the hairpiece instead. Otherwise, it's literally the exact same thing, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let's take away the weapons, just so you can see that figure a little bit more clearly. Yeah, very interesting. I would have preferred maybe Climber Nia in this set, but we get this one. And in a similar manner, we have Kai here as he appears in this set, also sporting his Dragons Rising Season 1 minifigure, just except with the hairpiece instead of the top of the mask. And like the case with Nia, I think this is also an interesting inclusion. Would have preferred Climber Kai, would have added more value to this set instead of just recycling a lot of older figures and older parts from last year. His weapon is kind of cool. It's just a sword with a little bit of fire energy in there, and like Nia, Kai also does come with two katanas on his back, so very similar to that of Nia. Not a huge fan of the way that Kai and Nia were included in this set. Again, if they had their climber suits instead, I think that would have made a lot more sense and it would have added more value overall. Next up, we actually have a new figure, that of course being Master Wu. And this one is actually a new design. Like I said, it's not just a recycled figure made of older parts. This is all brand new, well, at least in terms of the torso and the leg print. The face and the beard are recycled, obviously, but what else are you gonna do? Same deal with the hat. We will take a closer look at that torso print here in a second, but the staff itself looks interesting. Would have preferred maybe Wu's classic staff, but this is a nice update, I guess. Let's take off the head and the beard, more specifically the beard, just so we can get a better look at that torso print. Yeah, I really like how that looks. It's kind of like a robe scarf thing. I like the dragon symbol there. I think that's a scratch on my copy. That's not great. Anyway, the dragon symbol right there in the corner looks excellent. Same dragon symbol that can be found on the ninja, and I really like this design overall for Wu. Looking great. I really hope this design makes its way into the show at some point, because I think this Wu design is excellent. I kind of prefer this over the Ninjago core design, to be honest with you. Next up, we have Euphrasia. Now, Euphrasia is, of course, the Master of Wind introduced in Season 1. She is in Season 2 for a little bit as well, but not in this outfit. So I'm curious to see if this outfit is canon to the show or not. Euphrasia looks good though. I like this design. Her weapon is kind of whatever. It's just like a golden staff with a little transparent piece on it. Maybe that's supposed to be her wind power. I have no idea. The staff hasn't appeared in the show either, so I guess take your guess regarding what it does. But I like this figure quite a bit. I like the blue and the white color combination. Again, I really hope this design does appear in the show, because I do like it a lot. Back printing looks great too, kind of like a wind-esque symbol. And Euphrasia actually does come with her hairpiece as well in this set. So if you wanted to, you could take off her hood. By the way, that face print is excellent. Initial pictures of this minifigure kind of made the face look a little bit too like big, especially in terms of the mouth. Like she had a really big mouth for some reason. In person, it's definitely not that bad, and I'm actually not going to end up replacing this face for my display. I was going to, again, upon seeing those initial first images, but I like the face print. Like I said, she does come with her hairpiece, so just attach that like so, and it's the exact same hairpiece that she has in Season 2, where we see her hair for the very first time, so that's cool. Nice inclusion there. I always like when Ninjago includes the hairpieces along with the hoods. Of course, I prefer to display Euphrasia with the hood, just because that's how we've seen her in the show more often, but again, I will wait and see what happens with this design, if it shows up in the show at all. Again, only time will tell. And finally, we have Lord Ras. Now, this design we have seen from previous sets, the exact same Lord Ras that we've been getting a handful of times already. We've already looked at this figure a handful of times too, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. But I do still like this design. I still think this design is probably the best Lord Ras design so far. Does not hurt to have another one in the collection, and also I do think this weapon is new for Lord Ras. I don't remember him having this axe in any other set, so I guess that's new. Of course, not new in terms of pieces, but new for him, I guess. But yeah, that is Lord Ras, the only villain figure that you get in this set. And with no side builds or anything of the sort to speak of, let's talk about the actual Dragonstone Shrine itself here. Now, just giving you guys a very quick turnaround of this thing. This is not a big set. It might look large on my desk here. That's just because my desk is small. I don't have a proper recording space, but as you can see, it is definitely a small scale set. I mean, here's a minifigure just for comparison. It's definitely not a huge set. I think the Dragon Core Temple stood taller than this thing. I don't have that set out on standby for comparison. It's in storage. But overall, despite this set being small, I do think this set is rather beautiful in terms of its construction. Just look at this thing. Nice dragon stone here on the side, like a stone statue. It loops around. The tail pops up over here. This also moves, by the way, but I'm just saying the dragon itself is really nice. And we also have this tree too. This nice cherry blossom tree, or whatever it's called, a cherry tree. You know, tomato, tomato. That wraps around the whole thing too. Like it wraps around the back of the dragon, as you can see. Wraps around the side, goes down over there, and ends right down there with a nice little display. I think that looks amazing. I love the shaping of the tree overall. I think overall the shaping of this build in general looks fantastic. And let's take a look at the water really fast, because that's a really cool little pond down there. Obviously, we have some clear pieces there representing the bubbling. We have some stepping stones there, so if you wanted to, you could take any of your figures, place them in there. You can make a nice little display. This does make for a very awesome display set, I will say as well. Also, we have the waterfall coming from the actual dragon mouth itself there. You know, fantastic. The eyes are blue as well, so seemingly the water is flowing through the entire dragon into that little pond down there. We also have some fish printing on some of the tiles there, making the water appear populated. I think that was a really good way of doing that. And just overall, the shaping of this set is rather gorgeous. This set is probably one of the more beautiful Ninjago sets that I think they've ever made. But of course, the set itself overall has a couple of issues that we will talk about here in a second. But in terms of articulation, like I said, this can move. Hooray for that. The tree is nice too. Like I said, I think the tree is amazing, and you can pose these branches any which way that you want. A lot of them are pretty posable. There's a nice lantern down here too. And yeah, you can just make this tree look however you want it to look. Lego trees in general, I kind of have an issue with, but when they look like this, when they're full and when they're populated, I think this makes for an awesome look. Again, the branches are really well done. A lot of different shades of brown used there. Let's talk about the dragon itself though, because the dragon head is built extremely well. Now, in terms of articulation, this head can't really go anywhere. It's kind of just stuck in place. You can kind of wiggle it slightly just because of how it's built. Otherwise, there is no articulation here because this is supposed to be a stone statue, right? It's not supposed to move. The jaw can't really move, even though it kind of looks like it can. Again, that eye is really well done in there. And I like how the dragon head looks overall. It looks really great. There are some studs on the top too, so if you wanted to, you could put a figure up there. As you saw in the intro, you can stand a figure up there, so that's nice. It makes for a very interesting display. I like this dragon design overall. Love the shades of gray, the dark green, with kind of suggesting moss forming there. Looks really nice. Of course, the dragon from the back doesn't really look all that great. I'm not a huge fan of this one solid gray chunk, but that does serve a purpose. We will talk about that here in a second. I just don't like how it looks on the back. The arm, however, is articulated, so the arm you can move. Kind of awkward considering that this is supposed to be a stone dragon, not a moving dragon, but that arm is on a ball joint there. Let me just pop that off quick. You can see that is a ball joint socket piece right there that just plugs in like so, and you can move it about. So ball joint there. We also have a simulated elbow, no elbow articulation, that's just built in there. The hand can move though. The hand is on a ball joint too, independent from the arm ball joint. So if you really wanted to, you could get some more different and unique looks out of this dragon. Like say if you wanted to do a little bit of this, right? You can have the dragon flip the bird. That's interesting. All right, look at that. Perfect. Looks great. That might be how I display it, actually. I like that a lot. Yeah, looks fantastic. But no, you can do whatever you want with this claw. I do think it's kind of weird, again, that the arm is articulated, but it's whatever. Otherwise, the dragon itself doesn't really have any other articulation, really. Again, you can kind of see it swooping down, though, into the tail, so I think that looks pretty great. I love the contrast between the grays and the browns and the blue and the pink. Overall, this set is really beautiful. The design of this set is really well done. Can't complain too much about that. Let's talk about the stuff going on inside the dragon. So flipping around to the other side, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff going on inside. Just kind of zooming in quick, you can see on the top floor we have a little tea shop with little stepping stools in there too, little rocks or whatever you want to call them, little places to put your figures. There you go. So we have Woo's teacup there. I wonder what that print is supposed to be behind him there on the shelf. Kind of looks like maybe the lighthouse from season 6, but I feel like that's something that we haven't seen before. Maybe that's the Tournament Temple City set that we're going to be seeing for the summertime. But that print is really nice though regardless, and we have a print over here on the far side, right back there, not sure if you can see that. It's a dragon with a scroll, not sure what that's supposed to be representing. We have a candle there too, and you might notice this blue thing sticking out of the wall right there, this blue thing. What exactly does that do? Well, let's show you, because that's another action feature. Now, I haven't really tested this, but I'm going to try my best to see if this can work. You push on that blue thing, and the top of the back of the dragon comes flying off. This whole part is just hollow, because it's covering up this. What is this? That is a great question. It is a book with some torches there to guide it, or to light it, rather. It's a book, has a symbol on it. You open it up, and there's something going on in there. Not exactly sure what this book is supposed to be representing. We haven't seen this in the show from what I can figure out. That is an awful sticker placement, by the way. I am so sorry. But yeah, this book is important. You tuck that up in there, cover it back up with this, and now the book is hidden. So yeah, that's the top floor. Nothing really else to say about that. Nice little hangout spot for Master Wu, I suppose. The bottom floor though, and just taking you guys off the tripod quick so we can get a better look in there. There's a nice little shelf back there, torch right there, a couple of scrolls there as well, and on top of that we have ourselves a trophy and a chi crystal. According to the designer of this set, that is supposed to be a chi crystal from Chima. What exactly does that mean? Who's to say? Maybe you could put Lord Rass in there. He can try to get the chi crystal. Look at him trying. But no, very nice little setup down here too. I kind of like the top floor more, but the bottom floor, again, has a lot of Easter eggs, references, and by a lot, I mean that one. Maybe that golden statue means something. Who's to say? So yeah, overall, I like this build a lot. I think it's beautiful, elegant. I love the shaping, the coloring, the dragon itself looks awesome. I love the tree that wraps around it. The build, the general design of this set is fantastic. And once you populate the scene with minifigures, it'll make the build look all the more spectacular. This makes for an excellent display piece. It does have some play features though as well. This is by no means an adult collectible set. But it's more so meant for, I guess, displaying rather than playing. At least that's how I'm going to use it. But overall, good set. I like this set a lot. I think it does have some minor issues that we will talk about here in the outro. But all in all, the build itself, the Dragonstone Shrine as it is, the Dragonstone Temple, whatever you want to call it, I think this is a huge win for Ninjago. Easily one of the best builds that I think they've ever done. And really quick before we wrap up, here we have the spare parts, the instruction manual, and the spent sticker sheet. You get some really cool spare parts too. Not a bad selection. So to close out my review here, what are my overall thoughts on the Dragonstone Shrine set? Like I said, this set is really great. I love the build itself. The only problems that I have with this set are some of the minifigure choices. I feel like, for example, for Kai and Nia, again, they probably could have gone with Climber Kai, Climber Nia. Price to part ratio is pretty good, right on the money, but Ninjago always has good value, at least usually speaking. Not with this wave though. For some reason, for Dragon's Rising Season 2, all of the stuff is a little bit more pricey than it should be. The actual size of the Dragonstone Shrine leaves a little bit to be desired. It's not as big as I would have liked it to be. And when it's all said and done, with the lackluster selection of figures that you get and the build itself not being as big as I expected, it kind of feels underwhelming sometimes. But overall, I do like this set a lot despite its shortcomings. I think this is still a very good Dragon's Rising set and a very good Ninjago set overall. I have a feeling that this one will find its place on my shelf for many years to come. I think this set is beautiful. Would totally recommend it. Maybe if you could find it on sale, I'd say it's more worthwhile. But as it stands right now, despite the shortcomings with the price and the poor selection of minifigures, I think it is still worth it. So I would totally recommend it. And thank you so much for watching my review. Feel free to leave all of your thoughts down below in the comment section surrounding this set in general. What do you think about it? Do you think it's worth it? Why or why not? And hopefully you enjoyed listening to my thoughts regarding the Dragonstone Shrine set. If you guys enjoyed this review, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.